Hey guys, welcome back to my kitchen. So I wanted to show you how I make my Graham's style beans. And Graham is what I would always call my grandmother, and she lived in Puerto Rico for a few years. And so she kind of took Puerto Rican ingredients and flavors and did her own thing with them. And so what I'm doing today is I'm taking her recipe and doing my own thing with it. But it tastes a lot like hers. It's not her exact recipe. Unfortunately, I don't have her exact recipe, but this is the taste that I remember from her beans, and it's really, really good. So hopefully you will enjoy learning this with me. So to get started, I have 2 cans of drained black beans. I do use the canned beans, and you can really use whatever type of bean you like in this application. I'm also using 1 can of dark red kidney beans. I usually do mostly black beans with 1 other kind of bean just because I like the variety of it. And black beans are just my favorite bean, but you can really use kidney beans, pinto beans, any kind of bean like this that you would normally like to use. And then there's nothing exact about my measurements, by the way. This is all by taste and smell. I'm also going to use sofrito. So you can make your own sofrito, or you can just buy it in the store. It would be in the international aisle of the store. If this is not something you've tried, I really recommend it. It's so yummy. It just makes your dishes so much better. So I'm going to use 2 healthy spoonfuls of sofrito, and then I'm going to, the reason I drain my beans instead of just like letting them cook in the juice that they came in is because I add my own liquid by the time I'm done with this. So I really don't need that extra. And then I use some hot sauce in there. Again, no measurement, just by eye. So for the hot sauce, if you're not really into spicier foods, you can just skip it altogether, or you can tone it down. Now for this, I like using dried minced onion. I just like the extra little texture that it gives it, because of course it does rehydrate a little bit. So it's an extra little textural item in there. And then garlic powder. I don't know why, but I never use fresh garlic in this. It's always garlic powder. And then my favorite is ground cumin. So I love ground cumin, probably because I grew up eating it, and it's just such a different flavor. It's so unique to any other flavors out there, and it's just, to me, it always is immediately, oh, that's Hispanic food. Like, that's that taste. And so I love it. Maybe not everybody loves it, but I do. You could also use some dried oregano in here, a bay leaf. My grandma was huge on using bay leaves. Me, not so much, but you definitely could. And then I'm also going to add some vinegar. Now for me, the vinegar is a really important part to any beans that I make. It just adds, I don't know what it adds, but it definitely adds something. It gives you a little bit of acidity, and it just, I don't know, it just makes it really good, guys. Really, really good. You can also do this on the stove. You don't have to do it in a crock pot, but the reason that I'm doing it in a crock pot is because the longer it cooks, the better it is. So the way that my Graham's beans always were was like thick and gloopy, and they cooked all day on the stove, but they were so good, guys. They were so good. And you don't get that from just like throwing your beans in the microwave for a little while or cooking them on the stove for like 30 seconds. It's not the same. So you really gotta like let it cook for a long time. So when I'm not doing it in a crock pot, I'll do it on a pot on the stove, but I'll let it cook as long as I can, because the longer it cooks, the better it's gonna be. So this is gonna be in my little crock pot, and it's gonna have all day to cook down on a low temperature. And then when I come home tonight to make some pork chops, it's gonna be delicious, and it's gonna be really, really good. So let me know if you try this or whatever tweaks that you made to it, and I will give you a comment back. Thanks so much.